Hello, and welcome back to the Authentic Creative Expanding Your Capacity to Feel Good. I'm so delighted because my gorgeous new friend is here, and she's Italian and she's a doctor. I told my husband and my dad, I was like, this person is like not, she's like surreal. Like, is she even real? Because she's so beautiful and she's so smart and she's has such a heart of service. And she's from Italy. It's just like a dream come true to be your friend. I'm very excited. Okay, so Dr. Arianna, am I saying it right?
Yes,
Okay,
Arianna.
good. Okay. Arianna Masotti? No, you say it better.
Arianna Masotti. Yes,
Arianna Masotti
it
is a
was
clin
perfect.
Thank you. Is a clinical psychologist and CEO of Bloome. She founded her wellness clinic to integrate therapy, executive coaching, and nutrition, empowering creatives, visionaries, and busy professionals to reach their highest potential in both their personal and professional lives. Ariana's areas of expertise include self-esteem, body image, career goals, and relationships. She conducts one-on-one online sessions using CBT, ACT, and mindfulness techniques. Okay, just pause for here for a second. What is CBT and ACT? Just what are the words?
Yes, cognitive behavioral therapy and acceptance and commitment therapy, and also CFT, compassion and focus therapy.
Got it. Okay. So she's helping clients worldwide achieve greater well being by seeing their lives from a new perspective and connecting the dots. She believes creativity is one of the most powerful tools to bridge our inner world with reality. With training in art therapy, music therapy, and neuroscience, and experience in both public and private clinics, she guides her clients in finding creative, effective solutions to their challenges. So, guys, if you're interested in a session with Dr. Ariana or her uh, EAM, what's this stand for?
Team. Sorry, maybe I.
Oh, it's a typo. Sorry, guys. That's me. You can, I'm like, what's EAM? That's a new thing. Um, or her team. Yeah, because she has a whole team. So you can enjoy, just for you guys, you can enjoy 20% discount with the code authentic creative, right? Because this is the authentic creative. So she made that code just for us. It'll be in the show notes. So, no matter where you plant the seed of your idea, with the right care, therapy, nutrition, coaching, you can grow and bloom into your most authentic self. Oh my God, this is like poetry to me. And then we were having a little fun brainstorm discussion last time we chatted, and we were thinking, like, potentially, we're just throwing this out there, potentially, June 26th. Stay tuned to though, because that's very amorphous. Could be our retreat date in Italy or London, because we're thinking of doing something together, which is going to be very exciting. Oh, and also, I just have to say that our friend that connected us is Simbi. And tell me, I'm curious, like, let's just start with Simbi. Like, how did you, because I interviewed her, you guys can go back and Simbi Hall and listen to that gorgeous interview. Like, how did you meet Simbi?
So first of all, thank you, Sim, for this wonderful introduction. I can
Yes.
feel energy from here. You're I met Simbi because I attended a CogX conference in Los Angeles. And I remember that moment because as a young entrepreneur, I work as a therapist all my life, but I was new to the entrepreneurial world. And I remember I felt her energy and I was there standing by myself and we just start talking and we spent basically most of the evening together. And since then we've been in touch and sometimes some things you can describe. It just happen, when you click with someone. And I really foster and embrace this powerful connection between women's because I hear so many stories about competition and jealousy. But actually, when you meet a wonderful soul, like I had the pleasure to meet Simbi, it is so rare and so powerful.
Yeah, she's an incredible person. She she just grew me so much through Buddhism. She was so supportive and just such an incredible soul. And I know that you guys didn't meet through Buddhism, but you have a very Buddhist-like soul, in my experience, just in the little bit of time that I've known you. Okay, I didn't plan on asking you this, but I'm curious, what is your religious or spiritual affiliation at this point in your life? Do you practice anything in particular that keeps you in your alignment?
So, this is an interesting question because right now I'm navigating a lot of questions about the self, about others, about the world. I noticed that when you work with a lot of people, right now I have almost 30 clients in my mind every day. It's essential to keep yourself balanced. Right now, I'm discovering and embracing breath work. Oh my God, you're doing such amazing classes. I would love to come to America again and try them out. Um,
Yes.
but for me, right now, what keeps me grounded is movement. And I encourage all my clients, all the people I know, to do movement. It can be exercise,
Yes.
it can be a gym class, it can be Pilates, it can be yoga. Move your body and always try to find the last 5, 10 minutes to question how was your day, what you're grateful for. And I think that we are here because we have a mission and there is a deeper meaning to life than making money and just have a salary each month. And right now I'm navigating this. I have a lot of questions, but I think that that's the beauty of the journey.
Yeah. I love it. I love that you're open, and I love that you're talking about movement and how important it is, and it almost doesn't matter what kind of movement. It's just like get into your body, be embodied, breathe, do yoga, do anything that feels good. And really, we want that movement to be something that's enjoyable because otherwise it's not sustainable, right? So sometimes we are going to want to do yoga more than, and other times we're going to want to like jump in the ocean, and it's all creative, it's a creative way of interacting with the possibilities of our life is to just see like what feels good in my body.
Yes, and what I noticed is that most of the people they spend all their time sitting in their offices.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, everybody has his own addiction, and you can engage in dysfunctional coping mechanisms such as vaping, alcohol, recreational drugs. Uh,
Hmm.
but what I notice is that if at the end of the day, after a stressful day at work, maybe you work in an office, in a bank, you find that time for the movement that is essential.
Yeah.
But what I notice more working with my clients is that there is a deeper need to talk. Exercise is a beautiful way, is a very, very healthy coping mechanism to deal with stress. But there is a
Hmm.
deeper need to talk. And what I'm doing now, and this new method that I created, is combining exercise and therapy. Because I don't know, Siri,
Wow.
yeah, if you notice, when you go and you do like a HIIT workout, weightlifting or cardio, then you have this dopamine shower.
Hmm.
And what I noticed that you're more open to work on your self-development. On the other side, and maybe you notice with your client when you're doing breath work, um, when you have an intense psychoanalytic or psychodynamic session, you don't want to sit at your desk. You
Yeah.
want to channel the energy and further process the emotion. So I invite them to do hot yoga or Pilates, you know, and it doesn't exist yet. Combining therapy with exercise is beautiful.
Yeah, I love that. I love how creative you are with all of these ways that you work with music and with art, and now you're saying movement. It's just thinking outside of the box. And I love to stand at my desk. Like right now, like I do all my interviews standing because that sedentariness, especially as, I'm 46 now, it's like, especially as I'm getting older, I don't,
Kidding.
if I sit, thank you, if I sit, right?
Yeah.
Like I feel it. And I had an injury like maybe about a year and a half ago in my toe. And so if I'm sitting, it's like my whole leg gets the sciatica. Like I have to be moving. My body is like, this morning I did a little yoga and because I have to. I
Mm.
cannot not do it. I will be aching and stiff and in pain. It's like the body is like, whispering, right? And then it starts to scream like, do something, move your body. You cannot not go to the gym or do yoga or something. It just wants to move. It needs to move. I love this.
Exactly. Like, I really love your internal narrative. What I notice is that most of the people, they walk blind all their life. They realize after years they are stuck in unhappy relationship or they're tied to their job just with all golden handcuffs just
Yeah.
because of salary. But like your narrative is that I want to, I need to. Like, let's take for example yoga, breathing, exercise. Most of the time you hear people like, oh, I must exercise because this
Yeah.
Sunday I have this brunch, I have this dinner, so I must exercise.
Mhm.
What I say is switch from a should to a would. When you feel that pleasant craving that you want to tense your muscle, you want to move your body, it's not a must, it's not a should, it's a would. So I really love your narrative.
Thank
You
you.
know, because sometimes you need to turn off that inner critic voice.
Yeah.
Imagine like you're sitting in front of a DJ booth. You need to turn off that inner critic voice and turn on the kind and compassionate one. It's like, Siri, let's go, let's do exercise, let's move our body.
Yeah, let's dance. Let's have a dance party, right? Like make it fun. I want to talk about you. So, where did you grow up?
I grew up
And we
in
can include movement in this if you want to, if it feels good. We can keep going on that. But like, where did you grow up? And, just bring us through a little bit of your journey, just an encapsulated version.
absolutely. Okay, so I grew up in Venice, and there is a pattern in my life, basically. A piece of paper and a pen in my bag and a trolley under my bed. Because since I was young, I always thought, okay, I want to pass a bigger message. I want to, like help as many people as possible to unlock their potential. So for me, I don't know, like I felt that high of moving to a new city where I didn't know anybody basically. It was every time a challenge to recreate a community of people, to basically find a place where to live. So I moved from my bachelor, I moved from my master. I remember my parents telling me like there is no money to send you to university, go to work. And I did the test without telling them. And actually,
Wow.
and I enrolled myself and I started. And then I
Wow.
started. I remember I was working in a pizzeria. Uh, I was too young to work, but I was working anyway, and I was studying on the side. And so I was always in that survival mode that
Yeah.
actually drive me and push me even harder to accomplish my goals. And then I reached a point where I wanted I wanted to try a different experience. So I remember I was studying and this is beautiful about creativity and your podcast, The Authentic Creative, because I was actually studying about creativity and
Hmm.
how art can be actually a bridge between your inner reality and the external world. So I contacted the author of the book I was reading, and I bought a one-way ticket to London. I arrived there, and I said, "Hi, I want an internship." But they said to me, like, "Of course, we just enroll students from King College and UCL." So I was a no one. I show up every single day brushing because it was a hair therapy studio. So I was like brushing, cleaning the brushes. I was tidying up the room.
Hmm.
And you were exhausted of seeing me every day setting up the therapy room. And at the end of the summer, they said like, okay, that's fine. The internship is yours. But
Wow.
I didn't speak English. So I was communicating with my clients through art. It was so powerful.
Wow, that's incredible. I mean, your persistence, your perseverance, your initiation from the beginning, it sounds like you were always an initiator. And then just having that kind of verve, that courage to show up and be bold and just say, like, I want to do this. I don't know the language, but I'm just going to jump in. I'm going to hop in. I'm going to show up every day consistently. And I'm just going to start to work with these clients without being able to speak with their language and just through art. I mean, that's so gorgeous, that communication through art, because as we know, art is, I mean, a picture is worth 1,000 words, right?
Absolutely.
Tell me more about working with the clients with art and not being able to speak each other's language, but be like communicating through the art.
Yeah, so basically, I remember that every day I was presenting a different theme. Like one day I presented the Pietro Mondrian trees, is a French painter. And I asked them, like, okay, represent the tree with your own eyes. And I remember this client, like, one painted like a purple tree, and instead of the leaves, like, it was so complex, and he represented his own trauma. And the most beautiful thing was the sharing moment where the other patients, incredible artists, by the way, they were complimenting, they were asking questions. And these people that they lost basically everything, they found a sense of purpose again in that
Wow.
sharing moment.
Wow.
That thing I noticed with music as well, because then after that experience, I said to myself, okay, I'm gonna have English flatmates, English colleagues, because I found a job in a pub just to pay my room because this internship
Hmm.
was paid. Um, I'm gonna have English friends and everything. I didn't speak Italian for almost 1 year because I wanted to absorb.
Yeah.
Until the point that I got an internship in neuroscience, and I was working with music therapy. What was fascinating is that we did the study and everything. Uh, we noticed the beneficial effect that has music on improving cognitive functioning in patients with
Mm.
Alzheimer's disease. So patients that they don't remember a great part of their life, and through listening a familiar piece of music, they were able to even remember memories of their childhood. And that remind me of Proust and Le Petit Madeleine, when sometimes a perfume or a taste reminds
Yes.
you of a piece of your life that you feel.
Yes, this is how I start breath work is I say like think of a food, think of a smell, think of a sound, like I get them into their senses and then the music when they're breathing it's like an epic movie of their life because it conjures all of these memories. I think it's so beautiful that people, especially people who like have Alzheimer's, right? And then they hear a piece of music or they smell something and it all of a sudden they're snapped back into that memory. It's incredible. Okay, tell me more about this.
There was so called oh my God, reminiscence bump. So basically, it was proven that they remember better memories of their childhood rather than memories of their recent years or adulthood. So it was easy.
Right.
The paradox is easier to remember the first years of our life rather than the most recent ones. It was
Yeah.
fascinating.
Yeah. Because because it just sticks deeper into our muscle memory, our emotional memory? Is that why? Because it's like the first time something's happened.
Yeah, in the region of the hippocampus specifically. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And after that experience, it was wonderful. We actually published an article. But then after research, I was like, okay, I want to go back to the field. I miss, being around people and everything. So I moved to the NHS, so the National Health System here.
Okay.
And it's another very interesting experience. It was in eating disorder. Um, and this is a topic that is very dear to me because I notice how so many people they suffer from eating disorder, either
Yes.
restricting or using food as a coping mechanism, especially in the evening when you're by yourself and
Yeah.
you use a comfort as a way to fill a void. And also I was thinking about how this society praises this skinny stereotype that almost
Hmm.
made you question your own body, your own sexuality, your own femininity. It
Yes.
was
Yeah,
such a
and people just are so, me included, it's scary to feel our feelings because we're not taught. You know,
Mm,
yes, the movie Inside Out and Inside Out 2, we're starting to kind of teach about emotion, right? But we're not really taught how to process our emotions.
mm.
Is that just American or is that across the board?
No, 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 it's across the world as well. I
Yeah,
noticed Europe as well.
yeah,
Because it's painful to acknowledge your emotion. It's painful to sit with the unpleasant ones.
yeah. Yeah, but I think it's this sort of conditioning that we're taught to sort of stuff it away, shove it down, not acknowledge it. Oh, you're fine, you're fine, you're fine. Or you're acting out, go to your room. Do that somewhere else, right? And so it's like, well, how, like you said, like the way that people cope is drugs and alcohol and, now it's, it becomes eating as a way of controlling
Yeah,
because we feel so out of control.
absolutely. Oh, that's pure poetry, Siri. Yes, we feel absolutely out of control. The only thing we can control is either restricting or binging, you know?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah,
And
so you've found a lot of reward in helping people with this. And I'm just curious, how do you help them with eating disorders? What do you do?
so basically, I developed two different characters. One is the what's called inner policeman. So basically, is the inner critic voice. I imagine
Mhm.
like a bad policeman that is always call you out, and say like, "Oh, look at you! You're disgusting. You eat so much and everything." So
Yeah.
it's not part of yourself. It's almost like a character, an evil character that you can watch and say like, okay, right now you shut up, okay? You're not part of me. And on the other
Mm.
side, I always tell to my clients, like, why don't you speak to yourself in the same way that you speak to your friends?
Mhm.
So I envision the friend from Spain, because for me Spain is a place of, like pleasure and sun and beach. So it's like, imagine that you have a friend in Spain that is telling you like, it's okay. Today you eat more than you should, but it's okay. The world is still here, your life is still here. So I envision like these two characters.
Mhm.
And and also I ask them to be grateful for everything they accomplished during the week, during the day, not just focusing on the negative side.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Yeah.
I Okay, and so continuing on with your journey, your story, right?
Yeah.
Tell us
After,
more.
yes. So after working for the NHS, I said, okay, I'm gonna open my own, because the journey with the client is so special that then I said to myself, why don't I open my own private practice? And at the beginning, I said like, okay, I remember that I met the owner of two gyms in Mayfair. Mayfair is um well, the equivalent of Soho in New York. Can I say that?
Yeah.
Or
Okay.
yes, or Beverly Hills if we're talking with people in California.
Mhm.
Um, so basically, I said, like I think that it's beautiful that you have this gym. A lot of people are coming here for exercise, but nobody thought about introducing therapy to the gyms. Nobody thought about the role of in-house psychologist. And so he said, okay, I don't know, but like I want to give you a shot. So you're not gonna be paid, but you can offer free session for 1 month. If they like you, and they become your clients. I said, okay, challenge accepted.
Wow.
And so I remember I quit my job, like my safe job, and for 1 month I was just giving free sessions. Like, okay, you're going to the gym, but actually I wanted to promote therapy in a more there is still a stigma sometimes around therapy,
Yeah.
but actually therapy can be also about self-development, about being aware of part of you that you're not aware of. And so I
Mhm.
was giving therapy session, and then word of mouth happened. And in 2, 3 months, I was, like, oh, I took the risk of leaving my safe job and everything. But then I was fully booked. And then it was like a domino effect, because sometimes our job can be so rewarding, especially when you witness your client journey. Of course, sometimes it's tough because it's all a work that you need to do on yourself to detach from their stories. But then after 1 year, I decided to create Bloom. And also because this profession can be sometimes isolating, because you're just you with your
Yeah.
client one. Um, Now I have a community where you can exchange opinion, ideas, and it's a group of very powerful and insightful women that are working with me. Not just
So,
therapists, but also coaches and nutritionists.
okay, so first of all, this theme of you having this incredible courage to just go out on a limb and try something new and just drop where you were and just go for it without having any pay, it's just like that is so remarkable. That is
Thank you.
so like fascinating. That in and of itself, I feel like could be a whole podcast of how you've consistently done that. But then I'm curious about the other people that you've curated into Bloom, like how did you find them? What do they do? What was sort of your through line of what you required of them? How did you select these people?
Okay, that is actually a very, very funny question because I basically pick up the phone
Yeah.
and I started contacting all my previous manager, bosses, all the internship that I've done, neuroscience, eating disorder, NHS. It's like, hey, would you like to work for Bloom? Like, would you like to be a colleague? It's again.
Wow.
And they say yes, it's people that I know, that I trust, that I work with, even people that were like like my supervisor and my manager in the past years ago. So we all know each other. And what I want to do with Bloom is actually create a community. So, for example, each month we meet up, we try to, like meet up, if not all the group, but like two or three of us, to exchange ideas, and we got each other's back. Like this job can be basically you're working with human mind every day. So you need another person that you can rely on just to have a second pair of eyes and get supported, even to let it out. Is so important.
Yeah, getting those different perspectives for you guys as a team to be able to support each other and inform each other and kind of fill in where one person's zone of genius is over here and another person's zone of genius is over here. And so you can be very complementary to each other. But then also for your clients, it's like here's a whole bouquet, a whole blooming bouquet of opportunity and availability that anything that you kind of need at all, like whether it's psychological or physical or mental, emotional, spiritual, you've got it covered. Again, I just can't believe that you called up these people that were your
Yeah.
mentors and had the courage to say, "Hey, I'm starting this thing." And there's something about your spirit that people
Mhm.
clearly respond to. Where did you get this courage? Where did this kind of entrepreneurial, initiating, just taking that huge big leap come from?
I think, well, that's a very difficult question.
It's just in you, like just part of your personality, or
I think, well, first of all, I come from nothing. Like it's a very, very small village near Venice, like we're basically in the middle of the countryside. But then I remember that someday something clicked in me. There is
yeah.
so much more, and I wanted to explore the world. I wanted to learn a new language and challenge myself. But also, I think my family, because they always, always, always believed in me. Like I remember
Mm,
they were reading me books. I love to write. I write since I was a kid. And I remember like when I lost, unfortunately, my grandfather, that I wrote about that and I channeled that experience into something, I actually won a literary contest telling that story because I was so touched by what happened. I was like, this is so bad. Let me turn it into something meaningful. And I wrote about that. So they were writing, I mean, they were reading stories to me. They always believed in me. And I think that made a difference because I think that your early childhood experience really can shape your personality. It's always genes and environment. It's
yes. Nature
one
and
and
nurture. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
but I think that when you grow up in a family where they believe in you and they support you no matter what, not financially, but with their whole heart, there is no price on that.
Wow. And now you're able to, I'm sure, I imagine, take that belief that was instilled in you and give that seeing further, seeing clearly, having a vision across the horizon to the people in your life, to your mentors, to say, hey, I have this vision for this collective,
Yeah.
and for them to see that vision because of you.
Yeah, because I thought, okay, let me actually see the pattern in all the clients that I'm seeing. Every person is unique, but usually they're struggling with self-esteem, even if
Yeah.
they're high functioning and successful.
Hmm.
Also because of the pressure that this society puts on us every day. You always need the best. You need to be the best in every field. Second of all, nutrition. As a woman, I know a lot of women's, like we all, in one way or another, came across some challenge with food, with our own body,
Mm.
nutrition. And then executive coach. Why? Because no matter where you are in your career, you can always think about the next step. You think about your current state. You can think about the past. Look at you. You were a brilliant actress and then you reinvented yourself and now you're doing this brilliant podcast. So like we are never static. We are constantly evolving. And where there is no change, there is no growth, in my opinion.
Yeah, exactly. I know I love people that are constantly committed to their evolution, to their growth. And there's a certain type of person that is very I think we're attracted to each other, the people that are so committed to that constant growth. I have some questions prepared for you. So here's one. You believe that creativity can connect our inner world with reality. So, Ariana, can you share an example of how creativity has helped someone improve their self-esteem or their body image?
Yes, so basically, I remember when I was working in art therapy in Camden Town, there was this man that lost everything. He got divorced. His ex-wife flew back to Turkey with his daughter. So he was in London alone in a council house. He lost his job. And I remember it was a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful artist. Um, Basically, during the sharing moment, he presented this painting about how he sees the society in London. If I can find it, I'm gonna send it to you because it's brilliant. And he painted like eyes, faces, a lot of buildings in the city, the fast-paced society. Everybody stand up and start clapping their hands, saying that this painting was beautiful.
Hmm.
This man 56, 57, start crying.
Hmm.
And I never saw it was always like, very shy, very introvert. He felt appreciated and he felt that he has a purpose. And this client was suffering from schizophrenia. So sometimes it was difficult to, communicate with him because his reality,
Mhm.
returning to your question, was completely different to how we see the reality. But
Right.
only in a moment through art, it was the same. And he found a sense of purpose.
Did he know how to be an artist? I mean, do a lot of your clients, when you've worked with them through art, feel like, oh, I can't create art. Like I'm not an artist. I'm not a painter. I'm not a drawer or what have you. And then you've just encouraged them, or do they already have some sort of awareness of how to work with that medium?
In the specific experience, I worked with psychotic clients and schizophrenic, but they were great artists, all of them.
They were already great artists.
Yes, they were.
Oh, okay.
Maybe they couldn't sustain a conversation for a long time, or like sometimes it was difficult because when you suffer from schizophrenia, you hear voices or you
Yeah.
see visions, but their art, it was something unbelievable, unbelievable.
Yeah, it's like when you lose certain awarenesses or senses or sensibilities, then other pieces of you get more heightened, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's fascinating. Well, that's a really beautiful story. Okay, here's my next question for you. So,
Yes.
you use art and music therapy to help clients see their lives in new ways. So, how can creative tools like these help people feel better and grow in their personal and professional lives?
Well, I think that sometimes we forget there is so much more in life rather than the work.
Yeah.
Uh, like sometimes we link most of our identity to our work, our salary, but actually creativity is how we can connect with our true sense of self, because there is this feeling of fulfillment and you feel as a whole and very close to your inner child and yourself when you write, when you paint, when you do breath work, when you move your body, when you play an instrument. All these are forms of creativity. you know? And like the practice, the rehearsal. I have a friend of mine that just started playing the piano and is, like, yes, this is very good lawyer, but then in the evening he starts, to play the piano and he's super creative. I'm like, this is a form of self-development, not like getting the bonus at the end of the year. This is a form of self-development, you know? Or
Yeah, it
like,
lights up other parts of your brain. And then also it creates solutions, right? When we step away from that kind of narrow thinking and we do something with movement or art or creativity or breath work, like you're saying, it gives our brain the opportunity to like zoom out and have this greater perspective. It's like a meditation where we can then download these new ways of feeling and thinking and seeing and understanding life, right?
that is super insightful, Siri, because like it's so easy to actually numb what you're feeling by opening Instagram, opening your phone, just scrolling and seeing images. But actually, being in the here and now, not in the past, not in the future, is so difficult. So what you said is pure poetry.
Poetry, that's another beautiful way to get out of our head and
Yeah.
into our creative way of being. I love it. So, for busy professionals, how do CBT and ACT and mindfulness help them succeed at work while also feeling good? And what part does creativity play in finding that balance?
Okay, so basically, cognitive behavioral therapy, compassion focused therapy, and acceptance and commitment therapy are all techniques that I use in my one-to-one session, mindfulness included. But basically, I'm using these techniques to say to my clients, of course, you need to have that drive. Of course, you need to set goals for yourself. I use the SMART model usually. But you always need to be careful to not create a big gap between your true self and your ideal self, because the bigger the gap, the bigger the frustration. So I'm never gonna say like, okay, sit down when you return home, turn on Netflix, that's it, you did a great job. No, you need always to challenge yourself, but not in a way that it's dysfunctional, because otherwise, even when you accomplish some result, you're always thinking about the next step. Most of the people, they have the imposter syndrome, because even if they're extremely successful, they're never satisfied because they're thinking, what next, what's next, what's next. And
Yep.
so
Just always moving the goalposts. There's always a dangling carrot. It's never enough. Yeah. That insatiable feeling. So bringing them back to these techniques that you use, does that help them to kind of rewire and actually find appreciation, satisfaction, gratitude, like ability to just be in the moment and be present and happy in the moment?
exactly, you got absolutely the point, because mindfulness is about being in the moment. Because if you're constantly focused about the future, there is a thinking pattern called worrying, and this can eventually lead to anxiety symptoms. On the other side, if you're always asking yourself, like, oh, I shouldn't have said that. Why did I do that? Why did I make that comment to my colleague? That is called rumination, and it can lead to depressive symptoms. Mindfulness, bring your mind back in the here and now.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so important. I know. It's like our minds left unchecked are just going to wander to the past and regret things and ruminate, like you said, or we're just going to be projecting and worrying, like you're saying. And it's just so unfulfilling. So
Mhm.
these tools that you use and that your peers use various tools, are they all, is the through line that they all bring you back to feeling better so that you can be happier? Is that the point?
Yeah, but it takes time. It's not a quick fix. And also, what I say is life is like a roller coaster. Sometimes you're happy, sometimes you're not. And even if you actually own these tools, it's not the key for eternal happiness, because it's like a roller coaster. You have moments of high and moments of low. The important thing is to keep yourself grounded and balanced.
Yeah, so it's like having the flexibility. It's not about being able to sustain this constant high. It's like how you have the flexibility within your
Yeah.
brain and your and in within your body to go through that roller coaster of life. So,
Yeah.
is there anything that we haven't discussed that feels really important to your heart that you want to share about?
Mm. Oh my God. I think we speak pretty much about everything today.
Good. All right,
Yeah.
good. Well, you're incredible. I'm sure that anyone that comes to you can find what they're needing because if for some reason you couldn't help them, you've got a whole team. And so you work on Zoom.
Yes, yes, I work online and in person as well, but mostly online at the moment because I'm between US and UK.
And so is there any particular specific types of challenges that are required in order to come to Bloom, or is it just kind of across the board, like anyone, whether man or woman or what age you are? Like, is there a specific demographic that comes to you?
Doesn't matter, man or woman. We are seeing clients 18 plus.
Okay.
Uh, But no matter in what stage of your life you are, the name Bloom is like because no matter where you plant the seed of your idea, with the right care, it can grow and bloom. For that reason, is global. For that reason, even if I'm sitting sometimes all day in a therapy room, I travel 6, 7 countries in a day. That's the beauty of exploring different backgrounds, different cultures. But also, what I noticed that the people feel that warm and they feel they can open up without feeling a sense of judgment. They're
Mm,
actually truly seen. Mm.
beautiful. Well, I'm really excited of the possibility of us doing a retreat, either in
Oh,
Italy or London or both.
yeah.
In the
Yeah.
summer, I've already rearranged the whole family so that we would come earlier because we were discussing about August being kind of when people travel with their families at the end of August, which is when I'm normally in London. So we're like, okay, maybe we're going to go in June. So let's keep talking, and you guys, please stay tuned. Please keep expanding your capacity to feel good, one breath at a time. If you have any questions about any of the things we discussed or anything about Bloom, you can go ahead and reach out to Dr. Arianna. And how would you like them to reach out to you?
We can attach to the podcast the link of the website because there is like a book a
Okay,
set.
website.
Yeah, website or directly the email. I don't
Okay.
know.
Okay, so
Yeah.
you'll send that to me. I'll put that in the show notes.
Yeah.
And remember that you guys have the code Authentic Creative, and that gives you 20% off. Very exciting. And can't wait to see you guys next time. Bye for now.